Hello and welcome to Gorilla and the Geek, the podcast for sweaty nerds by sweaty nerds. My name is Kyle from Geeks Weekly, and I'm here with John the Ginger Gorilla. John, how you doing today on the day of our 12th episode?
Kyle, I am hungover. Last night we went out, unfortunately. I feel like we should let the people know. Kyle's broken. So he's in bed right now, and that's why there's no video today, right? We are gonna try to get that back up and running for the future episodes, but today we had to take a hit, and we're only doing audio for this video, or God, Jesus Christ,
Audio
for this podcast, because Kyle is on bed rest.
Yes.
But you know what? Hangover's going away a little bit. I'm excited for our conversation today, and I'm ready to jump into things.
Yes, the show must go on, and to start the show off, I'd like to actually start the show with my trailer to check out this week.
Cool.
It is for the new Tom Hanks film Greyhound.
Ooh.
And it seems as though it's like a sea-based war epic. There's a lot of submarines, a whole lot of Tom Hanks. I believe this is the Navy. I'd imagine anything involving the sea and war is the Navy, but I don't want to sound ignorant to our military.
To be honest, I want to say, I think the Marines actually have water-based stuff too, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, I just felt like I should throw that out there. I think Marines have something.
So regardless, Tom Hanks is seemingly a high-ranking military officer in either the Marines or the Navy. It seems like a very dramatic film. It's giving me vibes of that Christopher Nolan film that was war-based, which name is escaping me. One moment while I look it up.
I don't know, but it sounds interesting. I like, obviously, Tom Hanks is a great actor.
Dunkirk. That was the movie.
Dunkirk. And I feel like anything with submarines is going to be very intense, because submarines in its nature is just an intense thing.
Yeah, and there's actually a shot in the trailer where a submarine jets out of the water, and there's like a monster-esque sound coming from it.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be pretty cool.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, so what's it called again?
Greyhound.
Greyhound.
Yes, and I believe it's coming out this year.
I'm going to have to watch it. I'm sold. I'm sold on watching that trailer.
Alrighty.
Greyhound, Tom Hanks.
Next up, what I'd like to discuss for my first topic is the newest update to what I'm deeming the decade of the video game film, or the decade of video game shows now.
Ooh, shows.
Yes, The Last of Us is actually becoming a big HBO live action series.
Holy crap, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, because the video game is amazing. I don't know if you've ever played it.
I haven't. Have you?
Yeah, and the storyline in the video game is amazing. So having a show based off of it is going to be, I think, awesome.
Now, real quick for our listeners and myself, could you explain quickly just the premise of the game? Like, what are these characters doing?
Post-apocalyptic. This guy gets basically matched up, or has to protect this young girl, right, and get her somewhere. And it's zombie-esque, but also a post-apocalyptic world. So mayhem ensues. They got to kill zombies, people, and you know what? Try to get to whatever they need to get to.
Good. I like the very.
I'm trying to not give away too much, right? Because so just I don't know exactly how hard the show will follow the video game, so I didn't want to
Yeah, and what I find really exciting about this, number one, that sounds like a really cool premise, especially in this post Walking Dead world that we live in now, where the zombie craze kind of died out a little bit. I think number one, this could inject some new life into that genre. Number two, the fact that it's on HBO, I have a lot of faith in HBO. They seem to put a lot of care into their work, and they don't like to put out subpar content. They allowed Watchmen to be only one season because the creator of the show said he didn't really want to force things for season two. They easily could have hired a new director or showrunner and just had them continue on with the series, but they respected the creative wishes of the original creator, which I think is really commendable. I've heard a lot of great things about HBO as a studio, about the executives over there. I think this could be really great stuff, and why I think this is so great for video game culture in general is if you have great content like this coming out, well, presumably great content, I think that drives more people to possibly play the game.
Yeah, it's a good crap. In other words, like almost a good
And
marketing strategy.
yeah, it's almost like
Like
an entryway.
yeah, yeah. It's
And now, John, real quick,
yes.
can you give me two people you'd like to see play the main characters, maybe?
Ooh,
Like just like a
interesting.
dream cast, anyone
Interesting.
that you can
Oh,
think
a
of.
dream. Okay, so let me. Do you know what I would actually say? Um, crap. Who's the dude who just was in He was in God damn it, I don't even remember the name. Oh my god, I'm blanking on everything. Yo,
What kind of
Hangover
movie?
Brain is wild. God, holy crap, he's the one who mumbles a lot in his films.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy, if he grew out like a little bit of a rugged beard, he could be um the good lead character for the man.
Okay.
And for the little girl, I don't know. I don't know that many young actresses nowadays.
Yeah, me
That
neither.
would be a good fit for like that. I don't know. But
Oh,
also, do you know what I
can I give
like?
one
Yeah, go
real
ahead.
quick? The girl who plays Eleven from Stranger Things,
Oh yes. That
Millie
would be
Bobby Brown. That's her.
perfect. Millie Bobby Brown would be perfect. But do you know what I like that HBO does too? I feel like they with some of their shows is they bring a lot of no name people in, right? Who are
Yeah.
good actors and actresses. What's it called? Was HBO, right? Euphoria.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like I mean, besides Zendaya, the rest of the cast was pretty much no name people, and I thought it was a very good, well put together cast. Um, I feel like the
I
casting
agree.
for that show was done very well. Um, the Jason Bateman show. Um, it's I mean, there's always that lead who has a name, and then I feel like the cast around it is really kind of no name people, and they're giving them chances to shine, which I really like about that because it usually turns out well. Because it's not like they're getting people who just to get people.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But yeah, that's gonna. I feel like they're gonna do that show wonderfully, especially it being on HBO where they could get a little more graphic. So like obviously, Walking Dead pushed the boundaries for where they were on AMC, but with HBO and in the post-apocalyptic world, they can make it pretty crazy situations and get pretty
For sure.
graphic with it. But also, I hope they don't abuse that graphicness, which I don't think they will. Um, but I just I hope they don't abuse it too much.
No, yeah, I hear you for sure.
But that's
Uh,
that's really exciting to
yeah.
see, especially because it's not just Netflix again, right? Like
Yeah,
Netflix has
exactly.
put out video game things. It's not just Netflix. And I was a huge fan of The Witcher, show on Netflix, and I still think Kyle you should watch it.
I
Um,
will. I will soon.
and I just like you said I love it because The Witcher watching The Witcher made me want to play the game. Have I? No, because I'm addicted to Fortnite, but it makes me want to play the game. And The Last of Us, I played the game already. I don't know, to be honest, I have no idea if I finished it or not. I don't really remember, because I have end of game phobias. I feel like I can't finish things like that very easily. I don't know
Like
why.
Spider-Man.
I just don't. Yeah, I just don't want it to end. Just don't want it to end. Um, so I get so far into a game, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start playing something else now. And there we go. But I'm excited to watch the show, especially because, as we've said in the past, video games have such great storylines that I do think it's to turn over to a film or whatever. It really is gonna make it amazing. And I think it. One of the first things I would start doing when I watched video games was I started by watching this guy on YouTube called Rad Brad, and he does just regular solo mission, solo game playthroughs, and I loved watching it because the games that I wouldn't want to buy and play myself, I'd watch him play, and then you still get the storyline, you still get to watch the game, and see how the story goes in the game, and without having to actually buy the game or play the game, and it was amazing.
I used to do the same
So
thing.
so I'm excited to see them adapt this to um, TV or
Yeah, no TV.
shows. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is
And
actually TV because it's HBO. So yeah, TV.
exactly. And my last topic for my portion of the show is Christian Bale has recently been confirmed to play the lead villain in Thor 4, aka Love and Thunder, I believe is the title of the film. Thor, Love and Thunder. Yep, Love and Thunder.
Is this
S-
who is it? Just Thor in this one?
I think it's just Thor as well as Jane being back,
Because
Natalie Portman.
spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched or caught up on any of the Marvel universe, but in after Endgame, isn't he with?
The Guardians, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So wouldn't I'm confused to how they're gonna do that.
I'm not sure. We do still have a year out till the film releases, luckily, or more than.
We like this break has been killing me. I need more Marvel content.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is nice to have a little bit of a breath of fresh air post Avengers 4.
Yeah.
It kind of it gives that movie its space because I do think its space was needed. Although
Yes.
you did have Spider-Man directly afterwards. But anyways, um, yeah. So Christian Bale has been confirmed to play that villain. And what I wanted to ask you was, are there any other former comic book actors that played heroes or villains that you'd like to see switch roles and become and
Ooh.
go to the other side?
Interesting. Interesting. Huh.
And for those of
That's
you who
a
don't know, Christian Bale was Batman before. I feel like that's a pretty
yeah. I feel like
big known thing,
people
but
should know
just
that.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I guess Will Smith was kind of what would you say he was?
I'd say
Eh,
Deadshot was a villain.
yeah, Deadshot's. So I'd like to see him as a hero. Will Smith could fit in, but also I'm enamored by Will Smith, and I'd like to see if he took it serious, what he could do.
Yeah,
Almost. Who? What? Oh, God.
I have one.
What are the? Who? Yeah. Who you got?
So for those of you who don't know, Michael B. Jordan's portrayal
Oh
as the
yes,
villain in Black Panther,
Killmonger.
Killmonger, I think that's like a top three comic book movie villain ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always wanted to see him as a superhero.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, there was the rumor of him playing the next Superman. I think that'd be cool. I don't care who he plays. I just want to see him play a superhero. I think that'd
Yeah,
be awesome.
it would have to be DC, obviously, considering
Yeah.
he was already a villain in the Marvel universe.
Hmm.
But man, I'm just trying to think of what DC characters
I mean, he could be John
he could be.
Stewart. He could be Wally West. He could be a plethora of guys.
That'd be very interesting to see. That's cool. Like that's a really good one because I'm also enamored by Michael B. Jordan. Um, man, that was a good one, Kyle.
Wait, enamored physically or by his
You know,
performance?
all around, Kyle. Okay,
That's fair.
I have a slight man crush on Michael B. Jordan.
To be honest, who doesn't?
I mean, first of all, he's a great actor. I saw him in which you haven't seen yet still. Crap. The one where he's a
Mercy.
lawyer. Mercy. Holy crap, was that a good movie? That was such a good movie, and he was amazing in it. I just really like his acting style. I think he's a great actor, and I feel like he could play a wide range of roles, which I like.
Agreed.
A real actor, I guess. Not
That's
someone who
me.
just does the same thing, yeah, all the time. But that was a good, it's a good fill in there. Um,
Yeah.
Crap, I had a question for you, kind of based off. Oh, nope, it's gone again. Damn it! Yo, my brain today is wild.
You
It
need
is.
to get your fluids in, brother.
Yeah, I'm drinking water, but it's not working too well. Just not working. Um, but yeah. So is that all your movie topics you got?
Yep, that'll do it for me. What do you got for us this week?
I have a very interesting thing. So it's more based off of a person, not a game, and it's from everybody's favorite streamer, Ninja. Right? So Ninja is obviously the biggest streamer in the world, arguably. Um, most pop culturally known, I feel like. And so when he says things, it gets a lot of traction. And he's very passionate about his games, obviously Fortnite. He likes to compete in it, and he likes to be one of the best, or try to be one of the best. And when he gets angry, when he fails, he gets angry with himself, as I feel like a lot of people do, me included, right? And he put out a tweet saying the following: "The phrase 'it's just a game' is such a weak mindset. You are okay with what happened, losing. Imperfection of a craft. When you stop getting angry after losing, you lost twice. There's always something to learn and always room for improvement. Never settle." And this, along with a little bit of video rant that he did, set the world on fire in the video game community because people, I just started roasting him for the most part. saying, "Oh, that's disgusting. That's such a horrible way to look at it. People play games for fun, blah 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 blah," and they were talking about like all this crazy stuff, right? Then they said like, "Oh, compared to like other athletes, like because considering like esport," and they were comparing it to other. Oh, that's like not a great mindset, but I think people are just being ignorant about the situation because they brought up. I saw someone post a clip of like LeBron saying, "Oh, it's just a game," um, and I honestly don't think he even believes that, right? If it
Mm.
was just a game, I don't think LeBron would be where LeBron is, right? Like, I don't think you could be the best at or close to being one of the best at something and think it's just a game, it's just a sport, it's just this. No, that's your life. Like, that's what gets you there. And for Ninja, I don't think it's just a game, right? This is what he has to use. He uses Fortnite to create everything that he has, right? Fortnite has given him everything, right? His money, his level of popularity, his content.
I
Without
mean,
that game,
gaming brought him his wife.
yeah, without that game, he wouldn't be able to make the content that gets him millions of views, which turns into millions of dollars, right? Like all the sponsorship deals. He's a Red Bull athlete, right? So
He has his own Adidas sneaker.
exactly, like it's not just a game for him. So, for a lot of people who do play competitively, no, it's not just a game. This is a means maybe to a way out of their life. It's a means. This is where they put their competitive nature to work. So it's not just a game, and it's one of those things where it's like someone like when you're mad and someone tells you to calm down, it doesn't work. So saying it's just a game isn't gonna obviously be like, oh yeah, sorry, you're right. Let me stop yelling about it now. And I want to get your opinion on it. What do you think about it? The it's just a game mindset.
So I think that works for people who don't take gaming as seriously as maybe you or Ninja or even a bunch of our friends
Yeah,
take it. I think that telling someone what they're trying to become better at is just blank. I don't know. I wouldn't. So I think Ninja's phrase is such a weak mindset. Maybe isn't the correct choice of words. I think maybe he could have said for professionals is a weak mindset. That I can totally understand.
yeah,
Like with LeBron, someone posting a clip of him saying it's just a game. I think I know the clip you're talking about. Um, and it was in regards to him losing his second attempt at a championship, and it was more so him saying, this is just one facet of my life. I'm still gonna go home, enjoy what I have, come back and try again next year. Something
yeah,
along those lines is more so what he meant to say. Because while and this is one of the most competitive people of all time, you can't become like a top two of all time player at whatever sport you do, or whatever, top two in whatever field that you work in, without putting in the 10,000 hours that people say you need to put in, right?
yeah,
And really honing your craft. However, I think that there's still this weird stigma with video games where people don't view them as like this serious thing, even though it is a means to an end, like you've been discussing. This is how Ninja makes his money. This is how a lot of people make his money. This is something that you would like to make money from someday, you know?
yeah. And it's just I think it's one of those things that's just even with sports though. Like if you go anywhere, you could see like if you go to a gym class, you see kids playing games and it's like life or death, right? You have the gym class heroes, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell them, oh, it's just a game. Oh, this is just gym class. But there's people who are just competitive by nature and they don't want to be bad at something. They don't want to be second at something. They don't want to be whatever, right? So it's just one of those things where you want to be the best at it because that's what you decided that you want to be the best at. And saying it's just a game, it's just a sport, oh, this is just whatever, is basically just saying like, oh, stop caring about it so much almost. Why do you care so much to get good at this? Blah 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 blah. And I think that is a little disgusting for the fact that like basically for the fact that um you can't get dedicated to something then, right? Like it's basically telling someone why are you choosing this to be so passionate about? And I also feel like the way I get what you're saying with such a weak mindset, is maybe not the best way to have worded it. But for a certain stance, it is a weak mindset because it's saying, "Oh, look, you're passionate about this, um, but you don't want to take it serious enough to actually get good at it, or actually reflect on yourself for what you do wrong to get better at it and whatnot." Um, so I just think I thought it was an interesting topic to bring up and to discuss because as I think of it, I do think these are more than games in a sense of like obviously it's not life or death, but it's a good way to get your competitive nature out, and have something to take it out on, and something to focus on and being better and improving. But I also have another topic, and it is the next generation consoles. Um, so there's been a lot more buzz about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. I forgot what they're calling it, but the next Xbox. Um, Both of them have had a lot of um, talks about them, right? Because there was a release of a picture of a PlayStation that was kind of ugly, and then there was the Xbox, which kind of just looks like a computer, um, that, and it's basically just a box, right? Like it's legit just a big rectangle that stands up. And for some reason, people aesthetics of how the gaming system looks is a big thing, which I never understood. It's just like, can it do what it wants, what I need it to do? But a couple of the big things are notable things are that apparently both of them will be able to push out higher frame rates instead of just being locked in at a 60 frames per second. They might be going up to 120, which I think is gonna change a lot of people's idea of consoles. Obviously, it still can't max out at like 240, how a lot of computer games, if you have a super high-end computer, could. But it's very interesting to see what they're doing and looking at the future of video games, having these consoles come out. I am very excited about it because it's been a long time, and I like to see what they're going to be able to do with them. But I would like to get your opinion on what would you like to see out of a new console? Is there anything that you want to see improvements on?
So th- that's difficult because I'm so happy with the PS4 that I just like it's weird to me now as an adult. As a child, it was always like, oh, it's a new thing. It's definitely better. But as an adult, I realize now that a lot of things are in order to make money,
Yeah.
and I know for a fact that the reason that they even came up with the PlayStation 5 is probably what's the next Xbox console?
I have no idea. Let me Google the name.
I know that the reason that those are being made isn't because it's this new innovative technology that they need to be in place in video game culture forever now. It's more so because the companies want to make money, and every couple so years, you get a new console. So that consumer brain in me is having a hard time going, what do I need from this console that I use every day and that works perfectly fine and does what I need it to do? I mean, I guess maybe some more storage or the ability to run things quicker. Like sometimes these updates are really rough on my PS4 in
Yeah.
terms of time. So I guess maybe stuff like that. But you're the bigger tech guy, and you know more about these game consoles. What do you want out of these?
I'm hoping that there's some better integration with each other almost. And look, I know it's never gonna happen, and this is probably just something. Um, this is something like obviously you're not gonna ever get of them like fully integrating, but just like a good party chat system. Like I know that, and Xbox, I think, is leading the way. To be honest, like if I could get the whole squad to switch over to Xbox to play out their games on that, it would make me a very happy man, which I never think will happen. But just for the fact that they have Discord, right? So right now, PlayStation only has their party chat. Xbox uses Discord as their party chat system, which is nice because let's say I'm on my computer, I could go on Discord there and talk through Discord on with the Xbox, right? So you could be playing on Xbox, I could be on computer, and we could get into a party chat through that. Um, Whereas PlayStation obviously doesn't have that. A couple other things that I'm excited to see is just a revamp of the system, right? I do understand what you think the whole money push, but I honestly think it's been a long time. The PlayStation 4 released in one second. PlayStation 4 release in 2013. So it's been 7 years, right?
Yeah.
It will be 7 years when the new one comes out because they are releasing later this year, right before the holidays, obviously. So it's sooner than everyone's thinking. But I am excited for the new capabilities, right? New system means better equipment, right? There's been in the last 7 years, there's been a huge jump in the technology that you could put into these things, right? Because the biggest part of it is making the technology. Obviously, you could have maxed everything out earlier on, right? Well, like the last one, but it would have been too clunky. It would have been too expensive. No one would have been able to afford it, right? You don't want to make a PlayStation that's thousands of dollars. But one thing I think that they should do, right? Now, hear me out. And people might think this might just be a money grab too, but I think it would be a great idea. You know how they make phones that are different levels, right? You could have the regular iPhone X, and then there's iPhone X Plus, and whatever, so on and so forth. I don't understand why they don't do that with the consoles, right? Have like a standard one, and then have a more advanced one. Maybe that is a little more expensive, but can run at higher frame rates, has a better graphics card, has a better this, has a better that. So that you could maybe put out higher quality, because the biggest problem is there's still the argument of why do people buy the consoles and why not just get a gaming computer, right? I think that argument is always going to be there, especially now. Like, I don't need, like, right now I play Fortnite on my computer, and you don't need to be keyboard and mouse savvy. You could just plug in. You literally just take your wire that you plug into your PlayStation and you plug it into your computer, or you get a Bluetooth adapter, or have your computer have a Bluetooth in it, and you connect that way, and it seamlessly goes into the game. You don't need to remap anything anymore. You just plug it in, and the game knows you're playing on controller. It picks it up, same as it would be on a console. So I do think that these consoles need to do something along the lines of having these staggered different things, or make a module where you could swap out the graphics card when a better one comes out. Maybe you could swap out the processor, something, so they can compete with the idea of just getting a gaming computer, right? Because I do think, especially if you're heavy into games, it's the logical choice eventually as you get older to swap over from a console to a computer, especially now that everything is so crossplay. Like, I think the biggest thing back in the day was we always want to play with your friends. So you'd get what your friends got, because if not, then you wouldn't be able to play with them. Which
True.
is one of the reasons that I have the PS4, because everyone else had the PS4. I didn't get the Xbox because all my friends had the PlayStation, right? Because now I don't really think there is that big of a gap between the two consoles to say one's better than the other. It's really up to controller preference and who your friends are playing, or what your friends are playing on. So I do think now that, and once again, I gotta bring it back to Fortnite. Now that Fortnite opened the way of crossplay, and now other games have it, like Call of Duty, I do think that it doesn't really make sense to why wouldn't you get a PC, right? Like, it could do more, right? You could use it for video games, but then you also have a computer, and it could run it better. You could run things nicer. You could do more with it. So the games are cheaper. Like, it just makes more sense. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree. But let me ask you this: do you plan on buying the PlayStation 5? Because I know you have your gaming computer.
I don't. To be honest, I have no idea. I don't know, because there's not really any PlayStation exclusives I need. My biggest fear would be the whole, maybe they switch back to, like, Fortnite switch back, which I don't think they are. And I'll tell you, I'll elaborate in a second. Switching back to unforced crossplay. But I don't think they will, because from what I've read is there's not enough people on each system now to fully support all the servers that they have. So they need to keep the crossplay, or else it would, like, the Xbox would be dead or whatever, so on and so forth. And there would be enough people to play, and you need obviously 100 people each game.
Of course.
Or well, I guess maybe a little less if they put bots in them, but which I feel like has been happening a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that. I feel like there's either like younger kids are getting into the game and they're bots, or it's just like real bots in the game. Because as of late, I've been shooting people, and it's just like nothing. But also, I've been getting shot at by things that like they're like looking through a tree, so I don't understand what's going on there. Like, and they're shooting at me. But I'm just I don't know. I'd have to see, and I'm definitely not going to get it this year. Right? I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, same here.
I have to wait. There's no, like you said, there's no need right now. Right? The PlayStation's working fine, but I do think for you, especially because I'm assuming you'll switch over to PlayStation 5.
Eventually.
Yeah, I think it's gonna blow your mind, right? Because the fact that it will be able to play at 120 frames, that's literally double the frames per second, and the smoothness the game will be, and I think it'll be able to run Fortnite just so much nicer. Because if we're honest with each other, we're probably still playing Fortnite. So when you do switch over, it's just going to run Fortnite smoother.
Yeah.
Which I think will be amazing.
Here's the interesting thing about the frames per second.
Yeah.
I might be in the minority. I'm not a fan of like 4K TVs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because when I watch them, whatever show I'm watching, it seems as though it's filmed like a soap opera. The weird fluidity of it seems almost unnatural, either to my brain as something I'm seeing on television, or maybe it's moving in a way that seems unnatural to even real life. I don't know. Something about it weirds me out, and I'm interested to see if it'll be the same for these next gen consoles. If the motion will be too much.
I wonder if it's the frame or if it's like just the quality of the picture that's kind of freaking you out. You know, like the uncanny valley. Have you ever heard of the uncanny valley with like robots? Yeah. So it's like the idea that our brains get freaked out when robots start looking too much like humans.
Yeah.
Or even these games, because apparently that's one of the things is a lot of these games, they could make them more realistic looking, but it freaks out people's brains because we know it's not real.
That makes sense.
But it's weird for us to see something that is so realistic to so human-esque that like we're like, ooh, that creeps me out. Like it's like a self-defense mechanism, I guess, our bodies have to make sure that we don't get taken over by robot overlords eventually. But I'm very interested to see what like things they have hidden for us too, like anything new. My biggest thing is I'm interested to see a new controller, right? Because right now, our controllers, like, I mean, and obviously they just add buttons. I feel like every new generation, and as of right now, I have a SCUF controller, right, that has the buttons on the back, and I bet you, it might screw SCUF over. But I bet you PlayStation adds buttons, makes it just a normal thing. Xbox and PlayStation, they add the buttons on the back, have these paddles back there.
Would you switch over if that were the case?
Maybe not switch. I might just buy the controller.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Going over to...
Oh, yeah. I will see. I mean, because I've had problems with my controllers, my SCUF controllers, obviously, and they're expensive, right? So I have to pay $100 to get a controller with these paddles on the back. Whereas, I mean, PlayStation just released that thing where you could put it on, you plug it into the bottom of the controller, and it gives you those buttons that you could remap, which is nice. Which I don't know how well that works. I haven't really heard anything about it, but I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the controllers more than anything else, to be honest. Because they always do, like they added the touchpad, but the buttons are all basically the same besides that, right? From the one PlayStation to the next?
I think so.
So and I do think, especially now, I think you could add more buttons to the controller and people wouldn't have a problem with it, right? Because like think about how the controller progression has come. It's been where like you have like your Nintendo with the A, B, and the directional pad, and now we're all the way up to we have X, square, triangle, circle. You have both your thumbsticks. You have your directional pad. You have your right and left bumpers and triggers. And I think I have all these fingers on the back of the controller. Put buttons back there so I could do stuff with them. And you know what? To be honest, that might even the playing fields for controllers and PC players too.
Yeah,
keyboard and mouse, right? Like if we get more buttons, That's one of the advantages to playing on keyboard and mouse. You have all these fingers, you have all these buttons that could do different things, so it's quicker for you to get from one thing to the next. Who knows? It's very interesting. I'm very excited for it. But that's basically all I got.
All right, then.
All
I
right.
think that'll do it for us here on episode 12 of Gorilla and the Geek.
Yes.
Thank you all very much for listening to this episode. I apologize for the lack of video, but we'll get that going back again as soon as we can.
Yeah.
John, where can the people find you?
As always, the people can find me on mixer.com/Ginger Gorilla. On Instagram, Ginger Gorilla Gaming. Twitter, Ginger Gorilla. YouTube, Ginger Gorilla Gaming. Right? Basically, if you search Ginger Gorilla and look for my logo, you will be able to find it. Wonderful, beautiful Ginger Gorilla with the sunglasses on. And look for my beautiful, wonderful face, and you could find me. I've been putting out some more Fortnite videos on YouTube, so check those out if you'd like them. I do think if you are educated or like to be educated, I might start releasing some math tutorials since I am also a math teacher on YouTube and just kind of diversify my channel a little bit. But we will see. Kyle, how about you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Geeks Weekly. That is 2 words. Once again, Geeks Weekly. You can check out my new non-spoiler review of the new Amazon Prime series Hunters, which I would highly recommend as long as you're someone who doesn't mind a little bit of fabrication when it comes to history and a little bit of exaggeration when it comes to real life tragedies. If that stuff doesn't bother you and you're into like Tarantino style films, kind of like Inglourious Bastards, make sure to check that show out as well as my review. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Buff Charmander. And that's all my plugs. Oh, by the way, my partner in Geeks Weekly, you can find him on Twitter and Instagram as well at SeanC529. Just wanted to throw that in there, a little love to our buddy Sean's way.
Yes.
Also, you know what? Follow our friend Alan if you're into fitness at
EnforceFit, yes.
EnforceFit.
Get all the plugs in. If you need a workout plan, I think he's going to start customizing workout plans for people too, which is awesome. He did it to me, and I'm super sore today because of it. So
Yeah, and again, it's at EnforceFit, and
Yes.
Enforce is with an E.
yes. So
And I think that
check
does
out
it for
all
the
our
plugs.
friends. Yeah, check out all our friends. Stop by our channels, pages. Let us know what you guys think. As always, share this podcast if you like it. Let us know. Leave a thumbs up on YouTube. Rate us on any podcast app that you're listening on, and share it with your friends. Right, spread the word. Let people know what we got going on here, and hopefully we could build bigger and better things. But as for that, that's all we got this week, people. I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks for listening, everyone.